Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Right now, what is happening, a lot of us are unaware of the situation, especially in what is happening in African countries, for example, Sudan. Believe it or not, right now, the Red Sea is very adjacent to Sudan, and this is going to be one of the main ports for the African countries where they do a lot of businesses. And this is the port, actually, I should say, they depend on heavily for trade, commerce, business, communication. This has been going on for centuries, for many years. Now what is happening is that Russia, they sent their warship into the Red Sea. US, they found that out through satellite. Believe it or not, subhanAllah, let's talk about technology, right? They found out, America, by looking down on Earth, that Russia is sending those warships. So what US did the very next day, US also sent their fleet warship in the same region. So Sudan right now, they have both Russia and also US presence warship, not just any ship, not just people, not military, but warship, where these ships are docking right now, trying to take control of the port city. We know, dear and sisters, after what happened with Sudan's president, I think Bashar, Russia wanted to fill the void by making their presence known. Let's take a listen at this video, inshallah, and then inshallah we can talk more about what is happening with Russia and US.
Nation in the midst of transformation. Since 2019, when an uprising ousted Sudan's longtime leader, Omar al-Bashir.
So this is the warship. If you do not know what warship looks like, these are dangerous, heavy, expensive military weapon. Look at these warships. Wallahi, this is dangerous, and they are in the Red Sea. For both US and Russia, and they're patrolling there, they're waiting there for commands, because they want to make sure that everything is under their control, not the control of the Sudanese or any African countries for that reason. Okay, so we have a situation right now. The point is that we have a situation right now where if there is any miscalculation, it can escalate, okay, between US and Russia in the Red Sea, and that will have consequences for the countries in the African Muslim countries. In the WW2, if you do not know, Turkey, newly built Republic Turkey, was not involved in WW2, even though Germany wanted Turkey by their side, okay, but Turkey said we will not take any side. So they were not with Germany and Soviet Union, nor they were with France and Great Britain or UK, England. At that point, it was easy for Turkey to really kind of like say, well, you know what, you guys do whatever you do, negotiate, come on the table and just forget about these things. Why you are fighting? That was the situation with Turkey, with the Muslims, and most of the Muslim countries, they did not take part, and actually none of them. Even though there are stories, that accounts that say that Muslims, 150,000 Muslims, were actually used for Germany in WW2, which is, I personally don't believe that Muslims are involved at all. But some accounts, they say that 150,000 Muslims are involved in WW2, helping Germany. And when I say Germany, we know what I mean, right? Hitler. So that time, those things happened sporadically. Those are anecdotal. There is no fact to it. The point here is that Muslims could avoid WW2, saying, for example, Turkey and other countries, Muslim countries, saying that, you know what, we are not interested. Now it is not the case. The Muslims do not and will not have any option but to get involved in the malhama. Remember, we talk about the malhama. In the past, WW1, WW2, Muslims could avoid it. WW3, the Malhama, will also involve the Muslims. This will involve the Muslims because, dear brothers and sisters, what is happening in Red Sea between US and Russia is directly because of a Muslim country. Muslim country is directly involved, in this case Sudan. All of these nations, China, you call it China, Russia, all the superpowers, they are now going to the Muslim countries, to pretty much all of the countries on the globe, and knocking on their doors, telling them you have to take a side. If that is the situation, dear brothers and sisters, then when the WW3 will take place, the Malhama, we will have no other option. The Muslims, the believers, will have no other choice but to go there and take part. We talk about the coming of the Mahdi, Dajjal, Yajuj and Majuj. So when the Mahdi will be here, as I said, this WW3 will take place before, and this is my understanding. I'm not using any hadith, Quran. This is again very subjective opinion, that when the Mahdi will be coming here, there will be no technology. WW3, the Malhama, will be done, and then the Mahdi will be here. The Muslims will be united. Muslims, according to my understanding, will break away from all of these non-Muslim countries' influence. So when the Mahdi is here, there is nothing called Russian influence or US influence or Chinese influence. The Ummah will be united under him. He will unite, and then the Muslims, the believers, will conquer Constantinople. The Muslims will defeat the Romans one more time, and the Muslims will defeat the Dajjal. And this is not what I'm saying, this is the hadith. I made that in the past videos. I explained the hadith where these things will happen. The point here is that this warship, when they're coming to Sudan and making or getting or dragging the Muslim countries into some kind of escalation and making them as part of it, because if Russia right now is in trouble, they will ask some Muslim countries to help out. For example, Iran and Turkey. If they don't help out, Russia will they will just flip. They will do Allahu Alam what they will do, but they will be very angry. In fact, they might even go and invade those Muslim countries if they do not help Russia. Same thing with US. If US do not get support, and they are helping so many Muslim countries, poor countries, they are sending aid, whatever it is. If they do not get support, they will drag those Muslim countries into that conflict. So the point here is that we will see that the Muslims will be taking part with the non-Muslims for the WW3, but the Muslims will not take part with the non-Muslims after the WW3 or perhaps WW4. But the point is, at the end of the day, the Muslims will be united and have their own army. Right now, we literally have no army. Okay, we are depending on proxies, we are depending on foreign aids, we are depending on foreign military aid. We are not self-sufficient. The good news for the believers right now is that because the situation is very confusing and we do not know what to do, because wallahi, we have really no power. I mean, unless we have we all develop the strength in our heart of Iman, we really have nothing to offer on the table. So the good thing is that the believers right now is the best time for us to really come close to Allah, ask Him for help, and Allah will lift the Muslims. Now, this is a side note. I was talking to one of my, actually he's my sheikh. Okay, I asked my sheikh, what is happening or what is going to happen with the Muslims next? I was expecting him to give me a very different answer, but he said to me that Muslims, okay, the believers, and the next thing that will happen to the believers is that there will be a man who will come to revive our deen. Okay, this is what he said, and I trust him a lot. He's my sheikh and he knows the Quran, he knows hadith, like he memorizes the Quran, like he's so knowledgeable, like subhanallah, may Allah bless him. He said that the next thing that will happen with the Muslims is that a man will come who will revive the deen, and he's talking about the deen of Islam, not Mahdi. He was not talking about the Mahdi. because at the end of the day, none of us know when the Mahdi will appear. So this is a good news for the believers, that we right now have to find our strength not from Russian warship or US warship, but from within. Okay, in our heart, we have to grow. We have this opportunity, huge opportunity, to really make our heart grow stronger with our iman. But situation right now, dear sisters, I want to read this news to you. US and Russian warship, how they are docked in port of Sudan on the Red Sea coast, as you can see, just a day apart from each other. Okay, just one day. US found out today through satellite. Next day, US sent warship. Can you believe it? How fast things are moving? So when I was saying that the Mahdi will not appear unless the technology we know today will be gone, imagine yourself, Mahdi is here, right? Believers are in one place, and then US finds out through satellite, oh, the Mahdi is here, the believers are here. What do you think they will do? They are gonna send fighter jets, right? Okay, so that would not happen. The satellite, the technology we know today, will not even exist. Allahu Alam, these are some of the very subjective opinion I had. Leave your comment, let me know what do you think, inshallah, how you think about the end of time will play out. Inshallah, we'll talk more about it. Jazakallah for tuning in. Like this video if you did, share this video, and I'll see you soon again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.